Cancer sun, I feel what you don't say. Scorpio moon, I see through the gray. I'm tuned to your soul, I read the unseen. 8th house mind, 12th house dreams. Tarot in my hands, planets in my sight. I decode the dark, turn shadow to light. Every chart's a mirror, every transit a sign. The past, the now, the future, all intertwined. I'm here for your healing, your truth, your rebirth. Reading your stars, reminding your worth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Danyell, Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader.
Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. I filmed this live yesterday and there was no sound. Completely no sound, the whole video. But we're back. Okay. All right. Well, we have a do-over, and that is so fitting for today being February 11th, pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograding in the sign Pisces. So we're here for, okay? So this week we have a major turning point. If you're not feeling it already, Venus has entered Pisces. I'll talk about that. As of today, Mercury will begin its pre-shadow phase. Saturn will enter Aries, and mind you, Venus entered Pisces yesterday. And we have an annular solar eclipse in the sign Aquarius. We're already feeling that, but I'll reread. Well, you already seen the movie. I'm reading a book. I'm going to tell you what the book says about that eclipse. And what else do we have? A lot of other little things throughout the week. Are they little? Well, we'll get into it, okay? Now, normally I create like what I have for the month, but I'm trying to see. I don't have like a timeline for this week, but February 10th, Venus enters Pisces. On the 11th, Mercury will conjunct the North Node, and that is today. And then we have the Mercury pre-shadow phase retrograde starting. And then on the 13th, Saturn will officially enter Aries and will immediately conjunct Neptune in the sign Aries on the 15th of February. And mind you, that's all that energy is around Valentine's Day. On the 15th, Sun will square Uranus. 16th, Mercury will trine Jupiter. On the 17th, which is next week, we have the solar annular eclipse. And we have Venus at the same time will conjunct the North Node. Now, I do want you to understand that I'm going to go into Venus entering Pisces. We'll go over the dates, the timelines, important things you need to understand about Venus being into Pisces in the sign Pisces. We're going to talk about the solar annular eclipse. We're going to go deep into that. And we'll connect it to some other things like Trump and Israel. Israel. No shade to that. I'm just trying to say it like more exotic. Well, I suck at that. I suck at all accents. Anyway, but here we go. First, let's talk about Venus entering Aries entering Pisces. As you see, Venus is officially in the building, okay? And Venus is the planet that is about love. It's the planet that's about our finances. It's about when you're trying to party, when you put on perfume, when you go to a great restaurant, when you're comfortable and lazy. That's all Venus. Venus is what you attract financially, what you naturally attract. It's a very good luck planet, so it represents a lot of luck. It's the planet of love. It is a very feminine energy, even though it's kind of masculine because it's in charge of Libra. It's the ruler of Libra. Libra is a masculine sign. Anyway, but Venus adds the element of aesthetics, creativity, beauty. Venus is also, like I said, feminine energy. So when you say Venus, you are also talking about a woman. Venus is also very social. So you're talking about a team when you're talking about Venus, okay? Venus likes to be in a sign Pisces. It's home here. It's like, oh, we are both creative. We are talking about feminine energy. This is great. Let's use this energy up, okay? Now I'm going to talk about the good and bad when Venus is in the sign Pisces, okay? Venus is very romantic. It desires a soul connection. There's compassion over logic. The boundaries are blurred very easily when Venus is in Pisces. There's attraction to someone who's wounded, someone you have to take care of, someone who's probably also unavailable. Also, there is a lot of sacrificing with Pisces. So now love is a sacrifice. It's almost like for better or for worse. Also, you're probably attracted to someone who is a martyr, who is is a sacrificer. Pisces is very healing. It's a lot of forgiveness, and there's healing, forgiveness, and spiritual energy. So you are attracted to that as well. Okay. Now there's compassion and forgiveness. You could be at a party and it's all about forgiving. This is a party about forgiving. You meet a woman who says you need to close things off, you need to end things. You are also very empathetic for others. There's a willing to forgive and release. Old relationship wounds could resurface. This is also very deeply healing if clarified is if clarity is maintained as well. This is also the energy of giving money to charities while Venus is in Pisces, or giving with compassion. Parties are sweet, they're loving. You have the Valentine's Day, which was more friendships with that Aquarius energy. Now, if you have a Valentine's Day getting closer to Pisces while it's in Pisces, then it's really about a love and a strong connection. Loving, nice, sensitive, a lot of crying at these Valentine parties now. Also, too, you could attend a party and the theme is water. It's by a lake, it's by the ocean, it's on the beach, something like that. Or you're at a party where people are really talking about healing and closures. Okay. A lot of spiritual parties, a lot of spiritual connections, harmony and spiritual connect. Also, solitude, like having fun by yourself in solitude and being alone. Also, is with that. As far as fashion, you can see women being more feminine. They're wearing dresses. It's also very dark, not in a negative way, but like that dark energy, almost like how you think of a Scorpio, but purple, dark hues kind of colors is the aesthetic. But anything that's very inspirational, it provokes the emotion when it comes to creativity, when it comes to passion, and when it comes to fashion. Venus in Pisces is like, how do I feel? I want to dress how I feel. Aesthetics is kind of unknown too. It could be very, very out of the box, not in an Aquarius way, but just like I've never seen that before, because it is very creative. Music, poetry, film, fashion, and spiritual art thrives while Venus is in Pisces. Beauty becomes more ethereal, more soft, more dreamlike. Also, heightened artistic inspiration. Now, Venus is also the planet of values and self worth. So your self worth is more about your emotions, not the material aspect. Desire to feel chosen, seen, and spiritually valued. Money decisions may be made from feeling rather than logic. There's no logic with Pisces. It's all about the emotions. Okay. Now, because Pisces does not have boundaries, your emotional, energetic energy while you're at a party could be very thin. People absorb others' moods and emotions very easily. I was telling my brother this because of his placements, and I was explaining Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, and I was explaining how he can easily take on other people's energy. Pisces also is confusion. So you could be at a party, or you could be at a social event, or you could be dealing with a woman, and there is confusion added to that. There's empathy added to that as well. Overspending because you are emotional could be happening. Overspending with beauty. And yeah, something with emotions and aesthetics for sure. Okay. Savor complex, ignoring red flags, fantasy over reality, lost in love, emotional escapism, idealizing people or situations, staying too long in uncleared relationships, confusion when it comes to love. But use your discernment, be creative, spark that energy of emotions, whatever the emotions are saying, go off of that. Choose compassion without sacrificing yourself, too. A lot of healing, and this is the time to forgive and release. Okay, now dates. Let's go over the dates here. I know you see the chart, but let me show you what we have here. Now, Venus, now in sign Pisces, the ruler of Venus is whatever Pisces is the ruler of Pisces. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, is in the sign Aries. It will be slowly coming. It will be coming next to Saturn later on in a few more days. So now whatever Neptune is doing is going to affect our Venus. So Saturn, since it's going to be sitting close to Saturn, we're going to feel a lot of restrictions. Our long-term energy are being very serious when it comes to love. And Aries, in the sign Aries, is going to make us very bold or something new. Now, if we look at the modern traditional ruler, it is Jupiter. It is in the sign Cancer. It is a lot of emotions, okay? A lot of sensitivities, also constantly looking back, and it's retrograding as well. Neptune is illusion, sacrifice, spirituality, and denial. Venus in Pisces teaches unconditional love. And when you have that Saturn and Neptune conjunction, it demands accountability. Love without boundaries will dissolve. Love with courage as well. Also, Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, there's a lot of emotional memory. It's always looking in the past. There's protection. You're talking about being safe in a relationship, and family and karma also involves that. So that's what you have just with Venus alone in the sign Pisces. Now, once it enters Pisces, it will start to get close to, well, yesterday it was close to, it had relations with the moon. We won't talk about that. We'll move on because that's emotions, and emotions, which was very fiery with the Sagittarius moon. And now we're moving on. Now it's sitting close to Mercury. So this is really talking to that woman energy. At the same time, we have the solar annular eclipse coming up too. So I'll talk about that. But just know, once it enters Pisces, right now, you are talking everything I said about Venus and Pisces. There's communication, there's emails, there's discussions, there's thinking, there's breaking it down. All that happens. Now, I'll talk about that a little bit more, but let's talk about the solar annular eclipse, which is also involving Venus, because Venus is sitting conjunct the North Node. Okay. And the North Node is strong relationships to this eclipse. Okay. Now, this annular solar eclipse in the sign Aquarius, first of all, is conjunct Mars, sitting close to Mars with a wide, not close, has a wide conjunction to Mars. It also is squaring Uranus. So expect the unexpected. But first, Mars, there's decisive breaks, sudden clarity, acting on realization. Now, a solar eclipse brings endings and beginnings, but because it's sitting next to this North Node, there's something new brought to the table. Aquarius represents the collective, it represents a group, it represents a system. It's very highly communicative energy. You're talking about emails, you're talking about discussions, you're talking about a network, you're talking about technology, you're talking about social media, you're talking about the public, the people. Okay, so because when you have an eclipse of any sort, you feel the energy not the day of, but way before, months before. And before we had, I think it's Minneapolis. I get some of the cities mixed up. I am so sorry. And you had the guy who got shot from protesting, and they were saying he was aggressive, but at the same time, he's fighting for the people. When it comes to ice, Aquarius is very ice energy. So you have that already. Remember, I told you, you already saw the movie. I'm just reading you the book. Okay. So you had that with the eclipse. You have all the protesting with the eclipse. People were protesting Target as well. That is what this eclipse, not a long time ago, but recently, any type of boycott, any type of that energy, that's very much with this eclipse, but it was added aggression, and it was expected, unexpected, like this shocking event. Okay. Now you have the Jeffrey Epstein leaks happening as well. That is connected with this eclipse. You do have the leaks happening online. That's very much that Uranus energy online. A lot of things that we value, you see them talking about money and what they value as well. A lot of sacrificing of the children. That's where you have that Venus and the North Node being in Pisces. That's where you have that energy. So Pisces does represent sacrificing and things that are very behind the scenes, things that we cannot see, things that we didn't know. A lot of conspiracy theories also is activated with this eclipse. I'm trying to think what else we have here. Aquarius represents a network and a group. Clearly, this was a group that was behind the scenes as well. Okay. Let me see. Also, too, you have them talking in different codes, right? It's very interesting because Pisces is sitting next to Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication. In the sign Pisces, those are codes, those are symbols, things that we cannot quite recognize. This eclipse was strong. I thought the other eclipse was strong, but this one is very, very strong. Okay. The other eclipse we had was in the sign Virgo recently. Okay. Sudden shifts in groups and friendships and online spaces, unpredictable news or events involving technology, social media, or a network or a group, disruptions around money, resources, what we value, our security. That's that Taurus energy. Okay. Also a tradition of some sort, something that we're used to sticking to, and now it's breaking free, breaking away from a system, breaking away from what they seem very comfortable. This is also dealing with your senses. Senses means touch, smell, all that. And that could be involving some addictions. I'm trying to say everything but sex, okay? Taurus wants stability and comfort and control. It doesn't like change. The square causes tension with that. Something has to give. This eclipse could expose and has exposed People who are very comfortable with being quiet, with staying stuck, or staying loyal to a system or to a person, or to a group, not a person, a group that no longer aligns with the future. That is very Aquarius energy, or for the people. Uranus doesn't ask politely, it forces evolution. So again, shakeups in platforms, and you had that with the connection of TikTok and that changing in that platform, adding something new, USA purchasing TikTok, and now things have changed. Now there is that Pluto in Aquarius, because it's in Aquarius too, shutting it down, uh, uh, um, forcing control on freedom of speech, which I've had so many videos on Pluto and Aquarius. I'm trying to scoot up. I hate that. Just, you guys, this chair is annoying me every time. If you're listening to this via podcast, I always have a struggle scooting up my chair. I'm on a rug, but then also I have that plastic thing, and I just need a very strong one. Anyway, on a personal level, this eclipse is where you feel restless, where you feel boxed in. You feel like you want to change, but you're scared, but it's necessary. There's sudden changes or sudden surprises or something dealing with intellectual energy or communication, again, like emails or something that's written, and it's forcing you to think outside of the box as well. Okay. Uranus energy often brings breakthroughs disguised as disruptions. You have to stay flexible, detach from outcomes, don't cling to what is already cracking. And Aquarius reminds us that for the future is better than being comfortable. Think about the people, think about the collective, rather than thinking about this boring tradition or the way things used to be. You know, we are part of a system that a lot of people depend on. You are talking about also photography of children. Children is that Mercury energy. It represents schools. Pisces represents photography. So you have that, and you have that connection with Epstein. Epstein to me is just a huge Pisces energy, and there's Scorpio energy involved. There's 12th house energy involved. I did a chart reading on him, and I think I put some tarot cards on him, but everything about him makes me think of this. Now, also the same day we have that conjunct. Neptune conjunct Saturn in the sign Aries. That is a leader. It's almost like, is Epstein a leader? Is he still dead? There is that, but an illusion of death of some sort. Now, but when you have the conjunction, there's a podcast called the Astrology Podcast. I don't know why the name of it is Bretman isn't Brett Bretman. I think that's his name. Oh my gosh, he's bald. He's Caucasian. I'm sorry. He does these lengthy podcasts. They're very informative if you really love astrology. But basically, he's saying that what he saw with this conjunction over the years, because it happens like every 36 years, is that you see that there is a dismantle of a group. And clearly, this is also connected to this eclipse and the dismantle of this private group that we didn't know about. Okay, let me see what else we have with this. And that Mars is causing a lot of people to be angry as well. Action becomes destiny, collective anger and ignites, technology and conflict, rebellion against authority, loss of control for leaders. You have that all involved with this energy. Let me see. Venus conjunct the North Node, though. This is faded energy. This is what relationships feel like it's meant to be. Compassion and forgiveness are offered, but not endlessly. Values aligned with soul level direction. It's like you are destined to meet this. You're choosing empathy over control, feeling sorry for the people who are sacrificed for that energy. Venus also shows when you have a conjunction is good and bad. So it shows the imbalance of the secret society, or the secrets or things that are hidden as well. It's opposing the North Node. So the details, the work, also to over analyzing love, trying to fix a partner, self-sacrificing, huge, huge, huge with both of these energies. It opposing the past of the details of things and trying to overlook the details instead of having compassion, also as well. Let me see what else. Saturn and Neptune conjunction. I just want to talk about that a little bit more. Remember, Neptune is the ruler. Neptune is the ruler of this energy here. Saturn is also the ruler of this. So these two conjunct makes it very strong and affects this eclipse that we've been feeling Remember, you've seen the movie, you've been in the movie. You've actually been in a movie. And now I'm reading you the book. Neptune is the planet of faith, illusion, sacrifice, denial. It also deals with Hollywood, things that are like, it seems one way, it's not that way, it's actually another way. Saturn is a planet of consequences, reality, accountability, time, the mentor, the old man. Saturn is also representing death, okay? And decay. Aries is the sign that is about first. It is the first zodiac sign. It is about the head. It is about blood. Mars is the ruler. Pluto is the ruler of Aries energy. Pluto. Mars is the ruler of Aries energy. Action, identity, aggression, leadership, courage with discipline, compassion with boundaries, belief that you can survive reality, false narrative collapsing, the false narrative collapsing, real convictions harden into structure. People who operate with the male energy, okay? With the male energy will have a consequence. People who are secretly hiding with that male energy, there will be a long consequence. There will be responsibility. You have to be accountable. You cannot hide. Belief becomes reality. You cannot move forward emotionally without releasing the fantasy, the addictions, the negative habit, the behind the wall energy. Okay. Love no longer that, well, not love. That sacrificing energy no longer works. Okay. Ending relationships, defining boundaries, choose self respect over longing, step into or walk away from karmic connections. Yeah, so also too, this could be a religious energy too. So I want you to understand Pisces and Jupiter and Sagittarius and Neptune represent some type of religious spiritual energy and sacrificing as well. Okay, so that is what we have with the conjunctions. I have a video, a playlist just on this two alone, and that is what we have with the eclipse. I'm going to do a little bit more on the eclipse a little bit later in this video, but now let's continue talking about Venus in the sign Pisces is going to, on the 22nd, it's going to have a very positive alignment with Jupiter. Both of these planets are benefic planets. They're very positive. This is about forgiveness, softening, emotional safety, nostalgia, family or soul bonding, healing. Jupiter is retrograding, so it's redoing, repeating. Also, is in a sign of the past, so something from the past returns. A lot of emotions, having positivity, a lot of sensitivity, having positivity. You're talking about things that are unknown and secretive, and there's positive when it comes to your ancestry or your past or your mom or your home or your where you feel secure. There's positivity with this. This is relationships across the board. There's positivity with this. Yeah, you're going to be feeling it closer around the 14th. You're going to be feeling it more then. So yeah, hopefully this is like great and it works really well for Valentine's Day if you guys are honoring that or celebrating that on the 28th. And all the water signs, Scorpios, you will be loving this energy too. Now, February 28th, Venus will conjunct Mercury, retrograding. Yeah, and if you didn't know, Mercury officially retrogrades the exact date, which I've done a video on this separately, February 26th. And on the 28th, Venus and them are sitting close together, but always together while Venus is in Pisces at the whole beginning. So conversations are circling back. Be careful, you may be losing some money, okay? Old messages, feelings, or people resurface. If you have any Pisces placements, you're going to get some phone calls. Somebody from the past, maybe an ex, are going to be calling you. This is about confessions, apologies, realization. Maybe you will get some money back that you lost before. This is unfinished words. Watch out for romantic confusion, mixed signals, or idolizing some type of conversation. This is losing an email. This is losing details. This is focused more on emotions. This is an emotional energy, insecurity when it comes to relationships too. So be aware of that. Now, Venus will sextile Uranus. And so the energy is out there that if you want to be intellectual and have some harmony and some balance or creativity and add it to an intellectual or something that's very futuristic and out of the box, or if you want to be very free with your creativity or with something that's very unexpected, go ahead, work on it. The energy's out there. God is blessing you. And then March 6th, Venus, right before March 5th, Venus will be in Pisces, so it has to hurry up and close things out. There's an urgency. All the feelings of Venus and Pisces, there's an urgency to close this out. So forgive, forgive, forgive. And then it moves into Aries. And that's when the dreaming stops and the action begins. Okay. And you'll have some romantic clarity. Desire becomes more direct. This is when people fall in love very fast. So be aware of that. It moves very different with that energy. Okay. So now back to February 11th, Mercury is going to conjunct the North Node. This is about your destiny. You're already feeling this. You've already been thinking about this. You're like, this is what I'm meant to do. You might be learning something new, but it's very basic and it's destined for your future. Thoughts and communication on your destiny in regards to spirituality. Destiny speaks softly. It's not logical. It's about what you feel. You can have a faded conversation. Your intuition is over logic. Karmic messaging as well. There is this releasing of the South Node here. So be aware of that. Releasing, over analyzing, being perfect, needing to prove everything before trusting your inner intuition, your inner voice. Okay. Collective theme. So this is leaks. Okay. Stories framed emotionally instead of actual facts. Confusion as well. So be aware of that. People being confused and lost as well. Because a conjunction does not necessarily mean good. It means good or bad, but it is very strong. So, and I just want you to understand Mercury moves fast. So it comes in a day and it'll go away another day. Okay. Misinformation. People may believe what feels right instead of what is verified. Rumors over something spiritual or moral weight, or thinking you're supposed to be doing this destiny, but then there's some confusion with that. You just want to have some spiritual insight. You want to use your discernment. Write it down. Also, too, this could be dealing with something that you need to release in order to go to your future. Okay. Mercury pre-shadow phase officially happens today. The February 11th. So this is when you are repeating, redoing everything you were supposed to plan. I told you before, you should have been doing that already. Now slow down. When you're driving, slow down. When you're having to deal with any details, when you're dealing with any travel, you have to be flexible. Pisces represents getting lost, confusion, deception as well too. Okay. Tech issues, conversations, emails, all that. Transactions. There could be some confusion with a transaction. Mercury is in charge of the youth, early education. They could be a little confused when learning something. Mercury moves fast. Don't worry. Okay. Patterns could repeat when you have Mercury retrograding. Mental static increases, distraction, second guessing, feeling insecure when you're thinking. You can move forward, but just expect some edits, some delays, some renegotiations, changing your perspective. This is not the energy to act, though. If you have the time to be patient, wait until Mercury leaves fully out of the post shadow retrograde. Okay. Now, this will be affecting in a positive light some redoing for all my water signs. So, my Scorpios and Cancers, this will be a very positive. It could be also for my Pisces, for you as well. On a negative side, all of my Sagittarius placements, you could be feeling some negativity towards this. Also, Geminis as well, and Virgos. Okay. Any placements close to this retrograde phase, I just say everything I said before, take your time, move slow. Now, February 13th, and let me still make sure my mic is working. Yeah, it is. I'm so happy that it's working. Okay, so now let's talk about Saturn moving in the sign Aries. Bam, there it is here. If you saw, it's at 29 degrees. This is also dealing with those leaks in private societies and sacrificing and people feeling very emotional. Oh, I want to talk about the Super Bowl. So let me tell you about the Super Bowl because good thing I get to redo this. Recently used. Let's see. I did predictions on the Super Bowl. Did not get it right. Oh, the Super Bowl is not here. Recently used. Did I save it as a favorite? Oh, I did not. The Super Bowl. Do I have the time? Anyway, I'll just say quickly. The Super Bowl had a Cancer rising. It had Neptune in the a pie in the 10th house, in Aries, and so I thought the team that was going to win was going to lose because it had Neptune in there. But they did have Mars as a ruler. And I said that was a positive because Mars is very aggressive. It wants to be first, yada, yada, yada. You get the point. Now, what I do want to say that is that Cancer being a rising sign, of the chart really addresses the whole energy of America and everyone talking about, he's not speaking in English, he's speaking in Spanish, just the whole American energy. And the Super Bowl, if you didn't know, USA has Jupiter in Cancer. Let me actually, not a Jupiter. USA is a Cancer sign. It has a sun in Cancer, has Jupiter in Cancer, has Venus in Cancer, has Mercury retrograding in Cancer. So when you have those things and it's a Cancer chart, that means America is on the top of the list with this. So do understand that. I won't talk about my personal beliefs with the Super Bowl. I just want you to understand that I kept saying that this is a huge theme of home and the past and home and the past. Yeah, but next time I do a Super Bowl prediction, I will ask my husband and my son about the team a little bit more because I don't know anything about football. I do know my son played, but anyway, so I'll do that and I'll have a better prediction for you. And also, what else will I do? I'll talk about the theme of the Super Bowl because I think I'm better at that because I don't know football. Anyway, yeah, and also too, if you're an astrologer and you are doing predictions, it's really good if you know the subject that you're doing predictions on. If you don't, it's hard to really do the predictions on it. So I always give a disclaimer that I don't know the topic, but I'm going to tell you what the stars say because I do know astrology. So there is that. Now, back to Saturn. Saturn is now entering Aries, and bam, it enters Aries actually on the 13th. And Saturn, I have definitely a lot of videos on this, but it's the discipline. Now the discipline meets identity. Saturn has been in Aries, hasn't been in Aries for a long time, but now we are here. And Aries is the rule of initiative, courage, anger, identity, instincts. Saturn says you don't act without some consequences. This is a person sitting next to Neptune. This is an energy of you're acting cuckoo, if you're acting crazy, if you're doing drugs, if you have an addiction, if you are doing things behind a wall like Epstein, there are consequences now and aggression towards you, okay? Impulsive behavior gets checked, reaction without strategy gets blocked, only intentional action holds up here while Saturn's in Aries. So any of you guys who are very impulsive or have anger management issues, you will have consequences while Saturn's in Aries. Be aware of that. False bravado, ego driven decisions, acting first, thinking later, confidence without competence. Problems. You will be having problems. I am brave. I'm just going to react. No, that doesn't work while Saturn's in Aries. Leadership gets tested. Leadership failures will surface. Pressure on those who are in charge. There's a heavy burden for the leaders, for someone doing something new, for someone starting something. Also, you have to be accountable. You can't just start this and not be accountable. That also happens. Anger becomes a responsibility. Identity restructuring. Who is testing you? You, the singular, the independent person, because Aries represents one, it represents the self, it represents individual. You could be feeling blocked, you could be feeling slowed down. If someone has just left a group or a partner, and now you are doing something that involves structure on your own, there could be a block or a frustration or delays. While Saturn stays in each sign about 2.5 years, so it's not that long. Neptune in Aries. Saturn stays in Aries for about 2.5 years. Neptune in Aries is a bigger thing, right? But you could be feeling burnt out while Saturn's in Aries, frustrated, rage at limits, authority clashes, feeling stuck in yourself, and being fast and being impulsive. Patience is resisted. Discipline is avoided. Ego fights reality. Yeah, so but as long as you're confident, there is some long-term energy here. That's a positive light. Saturn does bring positive because you work really hard. You're able to break down and analyze and be more strategic when you're dealing with Saturn. And any lesson you learn from Saturn, there is positivity. Okay, so it's something that you have to earn. It's not just given to you. Now that Saturn conjunct Neptune, we've discussed already. Let me see if I have anything else. Belief turns into action. False saviors collapse. Neptune creates the myths. Saturn tests them. Aries is about leaders and exposing them. New rules around force, identity, and authority. Aries represents military, weapons, sharp objects, blood, self-defense, the self, autonomy, and leadership. You don't get to act without being accountable. But Neptune involved is going to be, but the people will try anyway. We feel it. There's no borders, there's no boundaries. Yeah, so that energy, spiritual warfare. I talked about how this could represent war coming forward. um yeah, so yeah, and people sacrificing themselves, denial of consequences, all those, addiction, and now there's consequences towards any type of addiction or anything you're trying to keep quiet as well. April 26th, I do want you to, let me do it, but hello. Okay, hold on. Okay, you guys, hold on, someone's here.
Cancer sun, I feel what you don't say. Scorpio moon, I see through the gray. I'm tuned to your soul, I read the unseen. 8th house mind, 12th house dreams. Tarot in my hands, planets in my sight. I decode the dark, turn shadow to light. Every chart's a mirror, every transit.
Okay. Oh my gosh. That's the first time my whole time going live that's actually happened in years. That's crazy. Okay. Anyway, April 26th is what I want to talk about. And okay, so April 26th, we have a minor grand trine happening here. All these planets is so chaotic, but this Saturn here conjunct, even though Saturn is leaving Neptune, but this conjunction here is going to work really positive with Pluto, and it's going to work really positive once Uranus enters Gemini. And then you have Venus sitting there too for a few days in Gemini too. So this is going to bring everything that I talked about, that conjunction, about being realistic long term when it comes to anything Neptune, addictions, healing, forgiveness, or dissolving a boundary or a wall. It's going to be very positive. There's going to be communication. It's just very, very positive. Sudden surprises, thinking outside of the box, effortless flow kind of energy is what you get with this. Let me see. Beliefs become reality. Spiritual meets structure. Imagination becomes action. And it's going to be raw. It's going to be something new. It's going to be something about yourself. So everything I talked about, that Aries energy, and it's going to happen, it looks like, around Aries season. Get ready for the positive things. I mean, the sun will be in Taurus, so there will be some comfort involved here, but maybe a new language, a new technology, new narratives, rapid communication, AI, education, transport, mental energy, communication, socializing, social media. Pluto is in Aquarius. That is very much about the future and a transformation of something, or being obsessed with something, or digging deep and getting the dirt out and getting the skeletons out of the closet. Yeah, it's going to be very positive with that conjunction. Let me see. Ethical, technical breakthroughs, new social contracts, power structures can change, but it's going to help the self or a leader. If there's a leader coming up at this time and they're a spiritual leader, if they're shady, they're going to expand. But if they're not, this will be very positive too. So get ready for that. That is around April 26th. Now, February 15th. Let's go back to February 15th. The sun in Aquarius is going to square Uranus. Now, this is some tech difficulties for sure. Okay. Get ready for technology, electric cars, anything dealing with banks glitching, your money, a transaction, anything dealing with electrical or futuristic or a computer, and it deals with finances or what you value, get ready for that. Unexpected events toward the ego, moving too fast, also too, very anxious, very fast energy, both of this. Okay. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, it's the ruler of the sun, not getting along, and it doesn't want to change. Okay. Last minute changes, scheduling disruptions, tech or system hiccups, plan that refuses to go the expected way. Okay. Aquarius wants progress, Taurus resists to change. So the friction could be a major conflict here. Identity clashes with comfort. Aquarius sun says, I want freedom. The Uranus in Taurus says, don't touch the stability. We like the stability. What do you mean you want to change something? Okay. So, rebellion against anything that's outdated, but you value this outdated system, that could be an issue. Again, irritability because you're moving too fast, you're restless, you're anxious, you're impatient, you're impulsive. Remember, impulsivity doesn't work. So, don't do that. Truth through disruption, impulsive decisions you will regret. If you are doing a strike or a boycott around this time, okay, between February 10th to February 15th, and it's not planned, it's very spontaneous, I would say don't do that. Burning bridges prematurely, stubborn refusal to adapt, rebelling without a plan, don't do it, okay? February 16th, Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. It's retrograding. Major positivity when it comes to healing conversations, when it comes to remembering the past, remembering what evokes emotions. That's very positive, very intuitive energy. There's clarity around your emotions and your feelings and sensitivity, creativity. There's a spiritual flow here. There's a collective tone. People are more compassionate. They're more soft. They're more nurturing. Okay. They're more sensitive. Very positive for a tarot reading that day as well, as long as alignments work for everything. People could be feeling emotionally aggressive here because I see the moon is sitting next to the sun. Mercury moves fast. The emotions could be like trying to fight its way to do something. It could be positive or negative. Be aware of that. Let me see, February 17th. I already discussed that's when officially the annular solar eclipse in Aquarius happens. So I just want you to understand that. And that is when also too Venus is conjunct that North Node. That also happens. Now I do want you to understand that if we go to Trump's chart, yeah, we'll put the eclipse on here. And then we'll go to Trump's chart here. If you see the eclipse that's sitting here, and this stuff is happening in the house of taboo, things that are very taboo. Anyway, but if you see the eclipse is happening here and it's opposing his Mars and his ascendant, okay? Trump doesn't look good, especially when it comes to that male energy, okay? And him being a leader in the sign Leo, very negative. We already know that he has Saturn and Venus in the 12th house. Saturn is the planet of restrictions of relationship. Maybe there is a delay or limitation of some type of partnership. Energy, female energy as well. So that is in the 12th house. Jupiter is sitting there. It's going to expand that and make it bigger. And it's retrograding. So it's like, let's redo these steps here because you need to release and forgive Trump, or maybe admit to some things, especially when Jupiter enters Leo. Maybe we'll see something more about that next year. So that is Trump. So this eclipse 100% affects him. This eclipse also, the eclipse opposing Leo energy, Saturn and Neptune in his 8th house, moving to the 9th house of foreign affairs. Get ready for that. Let's see how this plays out for him when it comes to the world, the global picture, and war as well. Let's see what we have for Benjamin, because he came up with this eclipse as well. Oh, wait. Okay. Why does it look so much? They have so much Libra energy here. Okay. Why am I drawing a blank? It's opposing. He has a Mars and Leo too. Wow, Mars and Leo for these leaders is coming off very aggressive. It's opposing him. I don't know what's going on with him, but I do know we have that, we have Gaza for sure. Yeah, but I just want you to know that this eclipse is affecting him majorly in politics. as well. There's something with the secret societies for him as well. Now, this conjunction is entering the first house. Is going to be all about him. Okay, the illusions here, everything that I talked about this conjunction, the illusions is going to affect him big time. Okay. Yeah, so the eclipse was affecting him. Anyway, so that is what I have. Let me pull some cards for you guys this week, and let's see what we have. First I'll do the collective, then I'll do you. I already put up my newsletter for this week. Let me see. Oh, I have a comment before I pull tarot. Hello, Sandra. How are you doing? Happy early Valentine's Day to you and yours, Danyell. Is that you singing? Was I singing? I hope not. No. Oh, the intro. No, I wish. I wish that was me singing. You know what that actually is? AI. And I don't mean to take anyone's job with AI, but come on, we got to use the tools that are available to us. There's conspiracy theories that I was going to say about AI, but I need to put that behind a paywall. But I do want you to know that is an AI song, and I just told what it to say, and it did it. I used the app Suno. I have a lot of Mars placements. I have my moon is conjunct Uranus as well. I love technology. I love advancement of things very much so. I do think outside of the box a lot of times. I'm aware of technology. I'm aware of the future. But I try not try. I do. I work really hard to stick to traditional things too, because I lack a lot of earth placements. Crazy, everyone in my household has major earth placements. God put them around me. So things that I do that's very futuristic. So for example, I had Alexa. I'm scared to even say her name. I have the machine Alexa, and I had it around the house years ago, and it controlled my lights. Now I just have it in the living room. Right. So but I'm into technology. I'm into the future. I am here for it, but there has to be a balance. And, I'm one who will never have like a machine, a robot do work for me, even though I did like the vacuum. Like I used to years ago, before anyone had the robot vacuum. I had that, but I got rid of it, and I'm like, come on, Danyell, get up and vacuum yourself. But I'm here for it. Okay, I just want you to know that. But yes, to say it all, I did not sing the song. That is an AI song. Okay, so let's pull some cards here. Let's see what we have for the collective this week, and then what we have for you individually. Collectively, first we have the Empress card. The Empress is giving birth, creativity, a lot of creativity this week for the collective, a lot of newness, a lot of feminine energy. Venus is going to be very strong in the sign Pisces, so everything that I talked about Venus is going to be very strong. We have the Six of Wands. People are going to be on stage, a lot of celebrations, and relationships. So the focus of relationships and love this week, of course, that makes sense. We have Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day looks like it's going to be very positive for the collective. Now, let's do you. Okay. So what do we have for you? I have two cards that came out. We have the Justice card and the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups represents family. Your household, your family, emotions, relationships, and it's all very positive. There's multiple, because whenever I see a rainbow, there's multiple options here, a communication of some sort, but a lot of love and a lot of support. Now, the Justice card brings fairness, it brings harmony. Justice is also dealing with Venus, it's also dealing with Libra energy, very feminine energy, very positive. There is a lot of equilibrium. Maybe you feel very balanced at home. Maybe you feel very balanced when it comes to your family. You feel like there's justice when it comes to the comfort of where you feel safe. Doesn't have to be your blood family. It could be who you deem as family. Whoever you consider family, there's a lot of love, and there is justice and fairness. And it brings harmony for you this week. Okay. So that is what we have. I can't believe I did this again. Another 48 minutes, not that long though. Maybe yesterday was longer. Anyway, but that is what we have. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye bye.